Maybe you've heard me talk about the Sandbaggers. I frequent the chat of George Galloway's Worker Party, and it would be clear and maybe a little confusing that many of the people I refer to as sandbaggers are people I like and respect. But what happens is that the sandbaggers operate behind a smokescreen. Let's talk a moment about another smokescreen, the ICE smokescreen. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has been repurposed for ICE. Its constitution has been changed. It's been retrofitted for things that are the opposite of what it was intended for. It was intended, for example, to protect children in times of disaster, to care for their psychological well being, and to address any needs they might have for recovery and convalescence from significant trauma. That certainly doesn't sound like what it's being used for in the ICE, where children are disappeared without trace. At best, behind a smoke screen, enforced disappearances, unable to make phone calls or identify themselves properly by way of people who know them. The sandbaggers have a similar smoke screen. It's not praiseworthy. In no way can one compensate for the deflection instrument they use of John Lennon's purported murder to cover for the AIDS attack operation on Mount Desert Island. It's ridiculous to hold, as many of them do, as their shield, that Hitler Reagan did not knowingly pave the way for that Trump gang. It's ridiculous to say he didn't. All the signs were there. When I worked at Pitt News under Reagan as a significant dissent artist, we saw the unidentified mayhem skinhead teams coming from Screwdriver and wondered, who are these people? We had never heard of Donald Trump. When we did hear of him, he was just a shyster from New York in beauty pageants. One of the things that's significant about historians, and the right wing, even the Nazi Germans had significant historians, is they pay attention to detail. You may have noticed I said that Trump gang. That is an allusion to a film from 1944 called That Hitler Gang. These gangs are virtually identical in their inability to comprehend that they are insufferably isolated in their jaunty, oafish celebration of pure depravity and evil. There's no mincing words about them, and Hitler Reagan was well aware of what he was setting the stage for. John Farrow is an interesting one. He almost certainly was in on the rescue of Adolf Hitler. He's the father, even though that Hitler gang, pardon me, not a Freudian slip, just an equation, was part of the Allied war effort. It made cartoonish, lampoonish caricature of Hitler's monstrosity machine, its administrative buffoonery and genocidal, bizarre. John Farrow was Maya Farrow's father. Maya Farrow is an interesting one. She was the only woman who was that so closely associated to Frank Sinatra's Rat Pack and Woody Allen that she married both fellas. She was romantically involved with both of them. And that's the centerpiece of that Reagan gang, the Sinatra Woody Allen link that we find in the letters of Gail Burstyn. You can go into the idiosyncrasies of Maya Farrow's lawsuits with Woody Allen, the strange parallax view that her film cosmopolitan career provides, working with Roman Polanski, the allegations of pedophilia against Woody Allen and Roman Polanski on Rosemary's Baby, and the way that Pittsburgh processed the Polanski-Romero script of Gail Burston, everything you ever wanted to know about pedophiles, but were afraid to tell your mommy, that Woody Allen pulled out of his hat at the University of Pittsburgh under Hitler Reagan with the help of Yoko Ono, purportedly selling the Nazi idea that we should team up with the people who started AIDS because they killed John Lennon. How's that for a fast one? Want to know how that worked? Robert Fripp said I was clingy, and he had Leslie Katz, who had dated me for 2 years in an unrequited relationship, saying he's hassling me. I wasn't hassling anybody. Robert Fripp was play acting my friend. Leslie Katz was play acting my girlfriend, so they could set that up. And then they miraculously pulled this script that has a girl from the cover of Fripp's record in 1979. Get that. One of John Lennon's best friends the year before they say he died. The year before they say she helped shoot him. And where else do we find Gail Burston? In a 20-foot mural playing the violin in Seattle Center. That's part of the smokescreen that these sandbaggers hide behind. It's so effective, I say they live in Sandbaggra law. And Seattle did nothing if not facilitate that Hitler, that Reagan, that Trump-Platoon gang, that Fripp gang, those sandbaggers in Sandbaggra law by insisting that I be made a sad story after promising me protection from abuse. Seattle is one of the ringleaders and one of the prime beneficiaries of Sandbaggra law.